I'm dancing to the music. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my beautiful E360 viewers. I hope that you are amazing. And I also would love to do a shout out to all the beautiful diamond beauties, forever ladies in the group, and especially all my Mrs. Spots. My girls, I have goosebumps. And if I get goosebumps, I'm putting on my heart shaped glasses. My girls, I just want to say thank you for the 15 Mrs. Potts, our beautiful tea party host that is having half an hour sessions 5 times a day times three. So we have three per day times five, where any lady from the Diamond Beauties can phone into your Zoom session and then can be seen, can be heard, and can belong. And when at the end of the half an hour you take that screenshot and you post it in the Diamond Beauties group. This week I could not attend anyone because I had too much to do with all the recordings and the normal things I normally do. But then it filled my eyes with tears and my heart with so much love, because we are creating a movement. We are creating a movement of belonging. So thank you, my beautiful Mrs. Potts. And we have our Monday Mrs. Potts, one of the 3 Monday Mrs. Potts here, Nicole. And I'm so thankful. Thank you, my beautiful Nicole. So my beautiful Tanzanians, welcome, welcome. We're going to start with all of you. There's going to be 3 meetings a week for just men. I will not be there, and it will only be men. And you're going to talk men stuff. So we cannot wait for you to start that as well. So my beautiful viewers, what does letting go? What does letting go mean for you? I've got amazing guests, and they will come and blow your socks off. And you know, I don't say mic drop, but I say boom shakalaka. You will feel inspired. They've got golden nuggets. They've got wisdom and their brilliance in their own stories to share with you. So I am so excited. My quotes say, if you can step into the future if you let go of yesterday's baggage. Are you ready to let go? Oh, 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 oh. So here we go. First of all, I am going to play my beautiful sponsor, Jose Escobar's video. And then as soon as his video is finished, my guest will be here. My guest will be here. Here we go.
Is Jose Escobar. I live in Washington, D.C. area. I'm a family man. I'm an entrepreneur, coach, author, and speaker. I have communities. I support people. I'm a servant leader, and the list goes on. And I'm primarily the CEO of the Connected Leaders Academy. That's my bread and butter. That's my core offer, right? That's where I put most of my time and energy. And the Connected Leaders Academy is a growing community. It's a tribe of some of the highest level entrepreneurs from all over the world. We're now over 350 plus members, 42 states across the US, and 17 international countries. If you're an entrepreneur out there that's looking to grow personally and professionally, scale your influence, develop your skill sets, move the needle in your business, more money, more clients, right? This is the community for you.
Thank you, my beautiful Jose. And my guest is here. My guest is here. So I want to say thank you, my beautiful guest, for being here. I wanted to tell the viewers out there that it's not possible to give us any comments because this is a recording. I am so thankful towards all my guests today, because when this is going to air on September the 22nd, I will either be on the airplane from South Africa to New Zealand, or if the wind is going to go make the airplane faster, I will have had hugged my 2 grandchildren already. Xander is 9 and Zayden 4. I last hugged them on March the 1st, 2023. So I cannot wait. So my beautiful guest, thank you so much for doing this recording before the time. I am so full of love to say thank you for each and every one of you. So may I ask you, my beautiful Shannon, can you introduce yourself? And then after you, Nicole will go, Kat, and then Chris. And then I will ask the next question. Thank you so much.
Well, hello, everybody. My name is Shannon Mondor, and I live in Medicine Hat, Alberta, Canada. And I want to say this is an absolute honor to be on this program. I am an international best-selling author. I am a life transformational coach. I have my own podcast called Fulfillment in Faith. And I am a TEDx and motivational speaker.
Beautiful, beautiful. And you, my beautiful Nicole?
Hi, thank you for having me here today, Sanet. I always love to join you on these. I'm Nicole Harvick. I am from Surfside Beach, South Carolina, and I'm known as the forgiveness expert and quantum energy healer because I help you find and release old trauma that's stuck in your body. And Sanet, I'm very grateful to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you, my beautiful Nicole. Kat?
Yeah, thank you so much, Sanet. I'm excited to be here as well. It's such an honor to be offered this. My name is Kat Polsonelli. I am a motivational speaker, a podcast host called Real Chat with Kat. And I am also a business life integration specialist. So I'm here to serve and share my message across the globe, not only with entrepreneurs, but those as a whole, to help them see where they can move forward in their lives, just like I figured out how to do in mine.
So beautiful. So the only gentleman among the roses, I didn't want to say thorns. I don't know why they always make, I know a rose must have a thorn, but the only gentleman, so my beautiful Chris, can you introduce yourself, please?
Yeah, Chris Morrison, newfound author, and most importantly, father to Asher and Oliver. And then I have a podcast, Real Men, Real Talk Live, that we go live every Wednesday at 6. And yeah, really new into the whole mindset world, but has been a meteoric change and rise for me.
So Chris, we had our coffee chat, so we had a quick meeting, but you were at work, so we could not have a real dance. We had a quick chat. We had our chat yesterday, and we had a dance on your Forever song. And I must just say, you are the second person in the last month that has that same song. And I was like, can you tell us what is your Forever song, please?
Lose Yourself by Eminem.
Ooh.
I love it. Thank you, my beautiful Chris. And I wondered, you said you is a new author. So if you can show us your beautiful book, I'm going to start with you, and then can you? We're going to talk about letting go, but I just quickly want to explain the concept because I did tell the ladies before the show. So can you showcase your book, and tell us why you wanted to do this book, please?
Gotcha. So this, let's see here, is my book. Today I choose to be me. And so I wrote this book because Source told me that I had to. There's a book that I was reading, and it's The Ultimate Coach, and I contacted the author, and she's like, yeah, I've got the created version coming out. And I'm like, cool, this is going to be something I can do for my kids. We had the conversation, and then the manuscript came out, and I was like, okay, I need a kid's book. And I was in conversation with a couple of friends, and then one of them just nondescriptly was just like, well, Chris, I guess you're going to have to write it. And I was like, yeah. And I went up to Sedona, and I hung out with my boys. And on the drive back down, it was just like a download that all happened all once. The whole thing from in the middle of the book here, there's this mirror. Let's see here. And it's so that the kids can make their I am statements for themselves. And so the whole book, really, the construct is helping kids to understand how to declare who they are. So if they can declare who they are, maybe the world gets a little less sticky. All the labels, all the things that happen to them, because life will still come at us, but they will have a deep sense of who they are and where they create from, so that maybe, just maybe, things get a little bit easier for them.
So, ladies, isn't that goosebumps? That's goosebumps. So I just had to mute all of you. You can just unmute yourself all. So I know that you, Nicole, also have a book. Can you showcase your book as well, please?
Absolutely, I would love to. And my book is The Change Book, Insights into Self-Empowerment. And my chapter is about living beyond the third dimension. And one of the things that plays into it today is not only forgiveness and quantum energy healing, but a big part of raising your vibration is to release and surrender. You have to do that to step in your next higher dimension, which is the fifth. So it's kind of ironic that that is my chapter, and that's going to be what we're talking about today.
Wow, amazing, amazing. And you, my beautiful Shannon?
So my book is called How in the Hell Did I Get Here? Forever Changing the Genetic Blueprint of Addiction and Abuse. And my book basically is about my whole entire life story, because I was brought up in a household where addiction and abuse and mental illness was normalized. So of course, with that, I carried that identity, which was instilled in me from an extremely young age, that I was dumb, I was stupid, I was never going to amount to anything. So I believed that identity about myself. And Chris, when you talked about your book with your I ams, my I ams were I am dumb, I am stupid, I am never going to amount to anything. But when I got to a certain age and I became aware of what was happening in my life, because you create everything that is going on around you because of the belief system that you hold within. Well, I came to that awakening to awareness, which I created a program actually called. When I became awakening, when I had that awakening to awareness, that was when I was like, oh my goodness, I am not any of that. And I can change those belief systems, because that is what my abuser believed about himself. But go deeper. Where did that come from with him? His abuser felt those same feelings as well. So my book is about my whole entire story. And I go into depth of how I also healed myself and how I learned to forgive others within my life. But I want you guys also to know as well that when you order my book, the look of my book has changed. It's updated, because my publicist looked at it and he said, Shannon, that's not even who you are anymore. That's an old identity of who I am. So when you see my new book, you are going to see the version of me now that is elevated, high vibration. I have stepped into my new version of me.
Yes.
Yes. Wow, that's incredible. I've got goosebumps. So, Kat, do you have a book that you can share, or are you thinking of doing a book, my beautiful one?
So I actually have an international best-selling co-author book that I was a part of. I do plan on writing my own. It just hasn't come fully formed, but so I was a part of what is called Rattled Awake. It's an anthology series. So this is volume 6. And the question that we were actually asked is, what rattled you awake over the last 5 years? So it's interesting that we're having this conversation today about letting go, because my answer to that question is actually how I chose to take an abusive situation that I was in for 10 years and redefine the way that I not only taught myself and healed myself from it, but how I could also help my teenage boys who now are 20 and 16. And so that is actually something that I focused on heavily over the last several years that really helped rattle me awake to realize that we could do something different, not only for myself, but for the others that were extremely important around me as well.
Thank you for going on that journey. And thank you for not only helping your boys, but in the future, even more children. I say thank you, thank you. So my beautiful ones, all of you have a book. I too have a book. The Flight of the Monarch, the hero inside of me. And yes, I also had to discover self-love and mindfulness. And I decided I want to live and I don't want to die. I lost 165 pounds and it was the best decision on the 6th of April 2019 to say I want to live. So my beautiful ones, one of the big things for me is I had to not only forgive the people that have done things for me when I was a child, but I also had to forgive myself. And there was one big thing that was on my shoulders, and I did the forgiveness. I let go. I did the forgiveness. But when the psychologist asked me when I started my journey 5 years ago, did you ever forgive yourself? And I thought, this man is stupid. Why would I forgive myself? Because it was not when I was small. It was not my fault what adults have done with me. So it's not my fault. So, and when I got into the car, I realized for years as an adult, I was always criticizing myself. Why didn't you speak up? Why didn't you speak up? I had to forgive myself because as a child, the reference of a child, there was like blackmail that was given to you. If you tell the secret, this and this will happen. As a child, I believed that. And I had to forgive myself. And I know because of that forgiveness towards myself, it helped me to lose my weight even more. So that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. It was an Afrikaans movie to say that if you tell a story and you're sticking to it, but you have to do this. But anyway, so my beautiful Shannon, can you tell us what is letting go means for you?
Letting go for me really is about looking back at my whole entire being from my past and realizing that that was an identity that was instilled into me. And like I had mentioned about it earlier, and realizing that that's not who I was, and to let that go, and to know that I can create the identity that I want to. And it's all within my belief system. And then from there, I can create, I can be whatever I want. And that is a big thing. Your identity is everything, because how you view yourself is how everybody else is going to view you. But not only that, it's how you are going to attract these people into your life. So if you believe that you are a strong, loving, compassionate person about yourself, you're going to bring all these strong, loving, compassionate people into your life. But flip side, like I did for years, I thought I was dumb, I was stupid, I was never going to amount to anything. What did I attract? I attracted all of these people into my life that devalued me just as much as I devalued myself. So that is extremely important. If you can let go of that negative identity that you carry within yourself right now and shift it, your life will change. It will change.
It's so beautiful. And I have to press the button again. I love that because sometimes we do see the fear, and we see, you know what, you also believe what other people thinks about you, but it's not what other people thinks about you, it's what you think about yourself, your
Exactly.
identity. I
And
love that.
the thing is too, is you can tell the identity that you're carrying about yourself by just looking at all of the people around you and the environment that you've put yourself in, because you're the one that created that. And if you don't like what's going on the outside, then you must change your identity of how you view yourself on the inside. You are the only one that can do that, and you have complete 100% control.
Wow, I love it. I love it. Thank you, my beautiful Shannon. My beautiful Nicole. What is letting go means for you?
For me, as I look back, my journey started with a really rough divorce. And when I talked about release or surrender, I thought I was just getting rid of that person. But as I dug deeper into myself to heal myself, I realized that there was so much in my subconscious that was creating my story. And as I looked back, it became an old story. So to me, it was an understanding that we can never change the past. We're never guaranteed the future and we can't worry about it. So I just started releasing and living in the now. And I like to call it surrender too, because there's something much more powerful than we are, that you can call it the universe, you can call it God, whatever you want to name it. And I release to that. I release to the knowledge that they're my higher self. There's so many more things that are so powerful. And once I did that, my life just fell into place. It was just a beautiful transition. It was a beautiful knowledge that what is out there will be helping me, guiding me. And I have stayed with that story too, Sanet. That is my story and I'm sticking to it. And it's been a life-changing event for me. And for anyone that doesn't understand that, it's just the understanding that wisdom and knowledge is out there. Once you go looking for it, you're showing an action to the universe and you will absolutely find it. And it will start guiding you instead of other people guiding you. So thank you so much.
Goosebumps, goosebumps. Thank you, my beautiful Nicole. My beautiful Kat, what does letting go means for you?
Letting go for me means that you have to realize that what you have been through and the people that you do feel have truly hurt you are not going to be the ones that you're going to need forgiveness from. For me, letting go was realizing that I had to let go of what I was holding on to, which was a lot of pain, which was a lot of anger, which was a lot of guilt that I put on myself. And no one could give me the okay. No one could tell me you have been forgiven. So letting go was realizing that the apology didn't need to come from the outside. It needed to come from the inside. And starting from there begins the process of loving yourself. And then we have the ability to love others.
It is beautiful. And in your case, if I may ask a second question on that, did it help you to realize that it's not only for you, it's for your kids as well? Because when I started my journey, I wanted to lose the weight to be with my grandson Zander. And so it was like twofold. It was for me, but it was for him as well. How was it for you going on that path because of your children?
Yeah, it really was that. And what I realized was everything that I was doing and everything that I thought I was controlling in my life is what my children were then doing. So I had to realize that if I didn't start changing my behavior and talking to them about it, how were they going to be able to be any different? All I was doing was continuing this cycle of anger. And especially having two young boys, it was extremely important to me to make sure that I didn't raise them to be a part of this generation that we have, where they're taught to be strong, suck it up, don't have emotions. And I realized that that was a part of me as well. So as I started healing that, it was important to teach them to be able to be aware of that as well, so that they can now go into this world at young adults and have these tools that I didn't have at their age.
Thank you. Thank you for doing this. And yes to you, my beautiful Kat. I love my buttons. I got these buttons in New York when I was there. The easy button. I love the easy. I press the easy button a lot. Look.
That was easy.
I mean, it has different voices around the world.
Yes.
And then I've got another one I'm going to use at the end when you give me your golden nuggets. It's a normal pen, but I will tell you this is the paparazzi. I
Uh,
thought you show me, are you bringing the pen, the camera pen and your buttons with to New Zealand? I said, yes, I'm going to bring it. Yes. Sorry, my beautiful Chris, I didn't forget about you. Here I am with your, look here, I'm at your doorstep. Please tell us, what is letting go mean for you?
um, well, I'm gonna mirror very closely to what Shannon was saying. So letting go for me has been a process of I have what I call my conscious document. Right, it's where I create from, and it is a set of I am statements and a little bit more than that that I use to create where I use to create from. I read it twice a day, and in that and creating that, at the very at the very end, it's I am compassionate, I am understanding, I am love. And what I was finding was when I was saying I'm compassionate and understanding, I would get this physical sensation that was just tightness through my shoulder, through my chest. That was like, no, you're not, because you've done all of these things. You've been violent and angry your entire life. And so with sitting that and chasing that, right, every time I would get a little deeper into where does that thought come from? How far back does it go? Where was the first time that I remember having that experience? And it came finally to sitting in the back of my mom's station wagon. I had been kicked out of a preschool because I had bit a kid. And she's like, I can't believe you did that. Your jaws, why are you so angry? And like I took that label jaws and I just slapped it on me and I rode with that for my entire life of being an angry, violent person from that moment on. And I look back at that and like my first memory, one of my first three memories is my mom and my stepdad rolling around, beating the crap out of each other. One of them has a knife in their hand. And it's like, I was just acting out of what I had lived, my lived experience. I was acting out of my lived experience. And so looking at that and then going along with now having that label and taking that label with me and then living out of that label has given me the context of what it means to let go. Right? Anything that isn't loving, caring, when I say my document, when I'm in conversation with somebody, anything that isn't loving, caring, kind, compassionate, encouraging isn't me, isn't the person that I'm talking to. It is something that's been put on them, said to them, done to me that I am holding on to or they are holding on to. And so each time I come up against those things, I try to really follow it all the way back to the first time that I experienced that sensation and look at it from a point of love and compassion and try to understand there. And now I can really look back and be like, my mom was 23 years old. She was probably just worried about like, how is she going to work now that her kid doesn't have, daycare? What is she going to do to provide, right? She's scared. She's doing the best that she possibly can, living in the ways that she's unconscious around the world. And through that, through really loving those situations and trying to find understanding in those situations, am I able to now, with no hesitation, no anxiety, no tightness anywhere, say, I am compassion, I am love, I am kindness, I am understanding. And all I get is joy. I get joy, and it comes through me every time I say those things. And so for me, that's what letting go has been.
Uh, can I just tell you, this is the most beautiful explanation from a man's point of view. And you have touched my heart. And I'm so glad that you have decided to do and continue Real Men Talk, because I also said, please started to post your podcast into the Tanzanite Heroes, because there's not a lot of men's group out there. And I believe if men can have conversation with men and be authentic and real and bring your kind of kindness, love, and compassion into themselves, their family, there will definitely be a ripple effect to everywhere around, around the person. So yes to you. Thank you, Mabu. And I knew that took a lot of guts and courage for you to tell us this. I appreciate you with all my heart. Here it's to you. I promise I will put this back now. There's no more of this.
I want to say
Mabu,
that at this
yes.
point, it is who I am. I declare myself as authentic in everything I do. And so there might have been hesitation at one point in time, but because I declare it, because I create who I am every day, there will be no filter. This is who I am. And so I was, yes, at one point in time, scared, but no longer, because that's not who I create myself to be.
Beautiful. So I want to do a shout out to Natalie. If Natalie McQueen have introduced me and beautiful Chris. And Chris, you're also coming to my kids summit on the 16th of September. September the 16th, because we're going to do something for kids. And then my beautiful cat, I have to do Natalie, mwah, a kissy for you. My beautiful cat, I have to give a shout out to Brad. Brad have introduced us. I call him my twin because he and me have the same mission. So yes to you, my beautiful Brad. My beautiful Nicole, we know each other so long, I don't even can remember who've introduced the two of us. Can you remember?
I do. I saw you in Jose's club, the Connected Leaders Academy, and I just saw you talking, and I thought, I really need to meet that lady. She's special. And you reached out to me like the very next day. So I'm like, okay, this is crazy. And that relationship just started from there, and it's just blossomed beautifully. So it's, there's no mistakes, synchronicities. It happens, and we were just meant to meet, and I'm so glad we did.
I'm so glad as well, because I joined last year, so it must be early last year that we do. So here's a kiss to you, my beautiful Nicole. And then Shannon, you were the only person at the moment that I got two ladies, like in 2 weeks, that have told me to please meet you. And they sent me an email and they introduced us. So I knew that we needed to get together. So I want to do a shout out to Judy DeAnne. And then I also would love to do a shout out to Rani Tandakodi. She's in the UK. To you, Rani. And enjoy your leave, Rani. Enjoy it. So my beautiful Shannon, can you tell us how are you serving the world?
Well, I've got several ways that I'm serving the world. The biggest thing about me throughout my whole journey is I know with all of my being that my life purpose is now to share my story of my addiction, my abuse, my mental illness, because I know that I am to be a leader. And when I speak my truth and show my vulnerability wherever I go, it gives the individuals around me that do not have the strength to look at me and they're like, oh my gosh, for what she's been through and where she is now, I want to be able to get to that level as well. So I share my story on different platforms through I'm on podcasts literally now all over the world. I am a motivational speaker, and I did do my TED talk in regards to my abuse and my addiction as well too. I wrote my book, of course, so people can read it, and my book as well too. I just want to let people know that it's not directly all about addiction. There are so many different aspects in that book that are so relatable, because we've all got that sister-in-law that we didn't get along with, or that mother-in-law that we didn't get along with. There's also family members. It's about lack of self-worth, how we devalued ourselves. Like, there's so many different scenarios within that book that I went through. I lost a baby. I talk about that. I talk about, my marriage, how I never felt like I was an equal partner. There's just so many things within my book, within that. So I'm also teaching others about that as well too. Plus, I'm also a life transformational coach. So I've got 4 programs that I go through with people and teach them, how to change their life and transform their lives totally and completely, because you can have literally whatever you want. The only person that's stopping you from having that is your limiting beliefs. So I teach people from beginning to the end on how they can achieve whatever they want. I've also got my second book, which isn't out yet, and I'm actually working on a third one as well too. Which is, so I've got a lot of things going on, and I'm also going to be sharing my story too, because with my publicist, he's actually setting me up a tour all over the US and Canada, which I will be interviewed on radio and TV as well too. So there's a lot of amazing things coming up for me. I'm walking into rooms now where there's celebrities and people that I always long to become. But the most beautiful thing is, with my work, I am now that person. I belong in the rooms with these people. And that's what's so exciting.
Yes,
it's like, I'm there. I am there, and I created that. And if I can do it, oh gosh, believe me, every single one of you that are listening to this program right now, you can achieve it as well. And I can help. Yes.
Sorry, continue. And?
Yeah. So I'm serving in so many different areas, and I love it. I found my passion.
I love it. So you must get used to the paparazzi. Oh, Shannon, you are so beautiful, my beautiful one.
Thank you.
My beautiful Nicole, how are you serving the world, my beautiful one?
I would have to say I'm serving the world by finally speaking my truth. And the name of my Mrs. Potts is Truth and Wisdom. And so when you name something, you have to stand behind it. And for so long, I was so embarrassed and ashamed of my ex cheating on me, or being married to a narcissist and never speaking my truth. So when I started talking about forgiveness and really understanding it, I, like you, Sanet, I realized I had to forgive myself. So once I started down that road with forgiveness, it turned into self-love. And I loved myself enough to start releasing my traumas. Because when my mother got sick, many years ago when I was going through the divorce, she had breast cancer. And right before she died, literally about 3 days before she died, she and my dad had been divorced for about 20 years. And she always said, I've forgiven him. I don't, it's okay. I'm good. But she looked at me and she says, he slept with all my friends. So right before she died, that was what she was still carrying with her for so many years. And truly, I tell people, as within, so without. Whatever you keep inside of you, you have to physically purge that trauma. You have to get it out of your system. And once you do that, that's when you can really step into who you are and start helping others like you helped yourself. But I truly think it's important that in going through all that, I know what people are feeling. I don't know the exact feeling, but I can empathize with them because I've been there. And that's how I think I'm serving the world, helping people find their path of emotional freedom.
Wow. And also, so my beautiful guest, Beauty and the Beast, Mrs. Spots. So that's the reason for the naming convention, Mrs. Spots. You having such a beautiful space for all those ladies on a Monday. I want to say thank you. Please, before I click on this, can you tell us what is your golden nugget?
My golden nugget is about forgiveness, and it says, forgiveness is not for the weak. Forgiveness is only an attribute of the strong, and that's by Mahatma Gandhi. And I live by that. To forgive, you have to be very strong, but that starts the beauty of your life.
I love it. Yes, to you, my beautiful Nicole. Are you ready? Thank you, my beautiful Nicole. My beautiful Cat, how are you serving the world?
Oh, well, besides all the thousands of ideas I have in my head to serve more, um, I do serve through telling my story and sharing about being in an abusive relationship for 10 years with two young children and starting life with a new beginning. I tell a lot of people I chose to write a brand new book and not a new chapter. And I use my story to not only help others understand that you can choose who it is that you want to define yourself as, but we also have to remember that our story and our journey is our own. Nobody had it but better. Nobody had it worse. Your story is your story. And I think that sometimes we put other people's stories on pedestals because we're like, oh my gosh, they went through so much more than I have. And we devalue the things that we have been through. I personally saw myself do that for years. And I hid away from that because of the shame and the guilt that came from it, from being a young mother with two young children and feeling like she didn't know what she was doing. So I am here to empower others with my story and with my voice to help them understand that it doesn't matter your background. You can choose to change. And when you make that change, it ripples out across everything in your life. I can't explain to you the differences that have come from what I have done from healing myself. So that is one of the main ways that I share my message to the world. And I also love amplifying other people's wisdom on my podcast. That is a joy of mine. It's completely unscripted. We have really fun, deep conversations that go wherever they are meant to flow. And that's what I enjoy doing in my life.
So, what is the superpower I gave you?
Oh, she called me the wisdom amplifier, and I am in love with it.
Yes.
It is my new phrase.
Wisdom.
I love it.
That's amazing.
I will never forget when I gave you that. Your eyes, like
I did.
you were like shocked, and then you said, "Oh, I love it." So before I play the paparazzi, can you tell us what is your golden nugget?
My golden nugget is something I say a lot on other people's platforms and my own, and that is do not let the shame, the guilt, and the fear define your life. And please do not fight your battle silently. You are never alone, and sharing your story and your message can change somebody else's life as well as changing yours.
I love it. Are you ready? Oh, beautiful, beautiful. So, my beautiful Chris, can you tell us how are you serving the world, my beautiful one?
First and foremost, through my book, through my kids' book, my audacious goal for that is to have 1 million kids be able to write who they are. And my belief, my golden nugget in that is that each kid is divine and perfect. And if they come from a space declaring who they are from the earliest point, all the labels, all the things get a lot less sticky. All of those happenings just slide off. Seeing my son, who has spent more time in a hospital than any other person, all but very few people that I know, now declare himself as unbreakable. My 9-year-old son hasn't been to the hospital, hasn't been to the doctor other than his checkups, has only been to the nurse a couple of times this year to just get his medicine and go back. So, yes, I started this journey thinking that I had to raise the consciousness of children. And through a lot of really beautiful conversations, it was like, no, they are so much more conscious than we've allowed ourselves to get to. Because we've allowed ourselves to get to that point. They are that. And so by creating space, creating community for them to never forget. And when they do, have people around them to hold space for them until they remember.
So beautiful. It's so beautiful. And you know, another thing is, us as adults don't use our imaginations. And children live on their imaginations. They can be anything the next day. They can be a teacher today. Tomorrow they are a doctor. How incredible. I brought my beautiful crochet orangutans yesterday for Chris so that he can see. I've got big orangutans because written 10 stories for my grandchildren. But every orangutan is I am there. I'm the big one with the gray hair, Omi, Granny. And then my eldest grandson, Zander, he is 9. I've got Sunny, is him. And then my beautiful Zadari is now 4. He chose the orangutan little one, and he said, "Omi, my orange." Well, we speak in Afrikaans, Bobbejaan, but orangutan, and his name is Sky. And I said, "Okay, Sky is him." So I do teachings with them with the crochet dolls. I think you can call it like that. But then my grandson has a beautiful friend out of Brazil. And I showed Chris yesterday my beautiful sloth, because that is one of their national animals, is a sloth. So, and I remember when I bring out the animals, it's like changing my voices. It's so simple to entertain and show something with kindness, because they were bullying in school, and I had to show my grandson that he has to take a step back and ask the little one, why is he hitting him the whole time? Because he loves him. And then only to realize that my grandson told his mother that this child is been getting hit by the stepdad. And that's why he's hitting everybody at school. And if it was not for the doll playfulness, he would have never asked with compassion and get the answer. And then my daughter spoke to the teacher. So I'm not sure what is happening there, but it's busy. They are busy doing all this now. So my beautiful Chris, can you please tell us what is your golden nugget? I still need to paparazzi you as well.
It really is just that all kids are divine. And whole and complete. And there's nothing there to fix. There's nothing there to save. It is just to help give language and create space.
I love it. Yes to you, Chris. Are you ready? and then my beautiful Shannon, what is your golden nugget?
I believe so strongly in my golden nuggets. I have always been against tattoos. Well, I actually got it tattooed on me. It's called fulfillment in faith, because I know that if I have faith in myself, I will have fulfillment in every area of my life, because I am living proof. That's it.
Wow.
Fulfillment in faith. Wow. And that's also why I named my podcast that. That's also why I named my business that as well. So, yeah.
Yes.
Are you ready? Again, yeah, I come. You get a good practice. Oh, wow. My beautiful guest, you are all amazing. You have touched my heart in so many places, and my heart is big, and you've touched it everywhere. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, your brilliance, and your stories for us. Thank you for making that change so that you can show others. It's like a lighthouse. You are showing others they can also be a lighthouse for themselves first and then for others. So, my beautiful viewers, I know you love the show. I know, I know. Okay, okay, okay. My beautiful viewers, are you ready? You are also getting a paparazzi, a paparazzi. So, my beautiful viewers, my beautiful diamond beauties and Tanzanite heroes, may you have an amazing week. May all of my guests' golden nuggets and beautiful tips and their stories change your life or leave you with a thought of a change, of action step. Because I do believe if you don't take action, you can wish upon a star, but if you don't take action, you will never, never, never do that. So before we continue, before we finish off, my beautiful Shannon, my beautiful Nicole, and my beautiful Kat and Chris, will you have a dance with me?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. My beautiful viewers, will you have a dance with us? They said yes, they said yes. Here we go. Go, Chris, go, go, Shannon, go, Nicole.
Walking on sunshine or dancing in the rain. Sprinkle me with fairy dust so I can fly away.
Chris.
Smiling at a moonbeam or squinting in the sun. Sprinkle me with fairy dust and cover me with love.